My name is Emily. I am 35 years old. This is my story. A story about my marriage. I married him thinking of a happy future. A future full of love. Full of laughter. Now, every day is a painful reminder of my mistake. A very big mistake. I feel so alone. I live in a small house. It has a green door and white windows. From the outside, it looks nice. It looks like a happy home. But inside, it feels cold. It feels empty. Just me and my husband, David. We have been married for 10 years. 10 long, quiet years. When I first met David, he seemed different. He was charming. He smiled a lot. He worked in an office. He had big plans. He told me I was beautiful. He made me feel special. I was young then. I was 25. I wanted love. I wanted a family. I thought David was the answer to my dreams. My parents liked him too. They said he was a good man, a stable man. He will take care of you, Emily, they said. I believed them. I believed him. Our wedding was nice, not too big. I wore a white dress. I felt like a princess. I thought, this is it. My happy life starts now. For a little while, it was okay. We moved into this house. We bought furniture. We painted walls. It felt like we were building a life together. I try to remember the early days. Before the silence came. Before David changed. Or before I saw who he really was. There were moments, weren't there? A walk in the rain, huddled under one umbrella. He laughed then, a real laugh. He held my hand. It felt warm, secure. Where did that man go? Or was he never really there? Was it just a dream I wanted to believe? The memory is faint now, like an old photograph. Faded. It's hard to hold on to. The cold reality of now is too strong. It pushes those faint memories away. Slowly, things started to change. Or maybe I started to see things clearly. David's smiles became less frequent. His kind words disappeared. He started working more. Longer hours at the office. When he came home, he was tired. He was quiet. He would eat dinner, watch TV, then go to bed. There was not much talking, not much laughter, not any more. The silence in our house grew bigger. It filled all the rooms. It felt heavy. Sometimes I tried to talk to him. David, how was your day? I would ask. Fine, he would say, not looking up from his phone. Or, busy. Just one word. Always one word. He never asked about my day. I stopped asking about his. It was easier that way. Less disappointing. My days are all the same. Like a song played on repeat. A sad, quiet song. I wake up. The house is silent. David leaves early for work, sometimes without a word. I make coffee. I drink it alone, staring out the kitchen window. The garden is neat. David likes things neat. I clean the house, every room spotless, but it doesn't feel clean. It feels empty. I do the laundry. I plan dinner. Sometimes I go to the library. That is my small escape. But even there, the clock ticks. I know I have to go back. Back to the silent house. Back to waiting for David. Waiting for the evening to pass in quiet. Sometimes I ask myself, is this all there is? The question hangs in the air, unanswered. Remember our 5th wedding anniversary? I was excited. I thought maybe we could do something special. Go out for dinner, or just a walk in the park. I bought a new dress. I cooked his favorite meal. He came home late. He forgot. He did not remember. It was our anniversary. Oh, he said when I told him. Sorry, work was crazy. He ate quickly. Then he watched TV. I sat on the sofa next to him, but I felt a million miles away. Tears pricked my eyes. I went to the bedroom. I cried quietly. He didn't come. He didn't notice. That night, the cold in our house felt even colder. My dreams of a family faded. We never talked about children. In the beginning, I hoped. But how could I bring a child into this silence, into this coldness? David never mentioned wanting children. I think he was happy with his quiet, orderly life, a life where I was just there, like a piece of furniture, quiet, useful sometimes, but not really seen, not really valued. I started to feel invisible. He didn't notice if I cut my hair. He didn't notice if I wore a new dress, unless it was our anniversary and I told him. He didn't notice if I was sad or happy. I was just Emily, his wife, the woman who lived in his house. The thought, I can't escape him, started to grow in my mind. It wasn't that he locked the doors. It wasn't that he shouted at me. Not often, anyway. His anger was usually quiet. A cold look, a sharp word, a long silence. That was worse sometimes. It made me feel small. It made me feel stupid. Why can't I escape? Many reasons, I think. I stopped working after we got married. David said he earned enough. He said I should take care of the house. So I have no money of my own. Where would I go? How would I live? My parents are older now. I don't want to worry them. They still think he is a good man. How could I tell them the truth? It would break their hearts. My parents call me every Sunday. How are you, dear? My mother always asks. I'm fine, Mom, I always reply. David is well. The house is good. I paint a picture of a normal, happy life. I can't tell her the truth. She worries so much, and she loves David. She thinks he is perfect. He works so hard for you, Emily, she often says. You are lucky. Lucky. I feel a knot in my stomach when she says that. Guilt washes over me. Guilt for not being happy. Guilt for wanting to shatter her image of my perfect life. So I smile into the phone. I lie. And each lie makes the trap feel stronger. It makes me feel more alone. Because no one knows the real me, the real Emily. And there's the fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. At 35, it feels too late. I made my bed. I should lie in it. That's what people say, right? But my bed is cold and lonely. Sometimes I go to the park. I sit on a bench. I watch other people. I see couples walking hand in hand, laughing, talking, their eyes shining with love. My heart aches. I want that. I wanted that so much. Why couldn't I have it? Was I not good enough? Was I unlovable? David made me feel that way. Maybe he was right. I have a small hobby. I like to read. Books are my escape. I travel to different worlds. I meet interesting people. In books, women are strong. They overcome problems. They find happiness. For a few hours, I can forget my own life. I can forget David. I can forget the silence. But then the book ends. I close it. And I am back in my quiet, cold house. Back to reality. One day, I was reading a book about a woman who left her unhappy marriage. She was scared, but she did it. She found a small job. She made new friends. She found herself again. I read that part many times. A tiny spark of courage lit up inside me. Just for a moment. Then fear came back. David would be angry. He would say I was foolish. He would tell everyone I was crazy. The thought of his disapproval was like a heavy chain. It pulled me down. He doesn't like me going out much. "Where are you going, Emily?" he will ask. His voice flat, suspicious. "Just for a walk," I might say. Or to the library. He doesn't like it when I visit my old friend, Sarah. Sarah is divorced. David says she is a bad influence. "Happy people don't need to see divorced people," he said once. So I see Sarah secretly. We meet for coffee sometimes. She knows I am unhappy. "Emily, you deserve better," she tells me. "You are strong. You can leave." Her words are like a warm hug, but then I go home, and David is there, and the courage fades. I remember once, there was a local fair in town, just simple things. Music, food stalls, people laughing. I wanted to go, just for an hour, to feel some life around me. I asked David if he wanted to come. "Fairs are for children, Emily," he said, without looking up from his laptop. "But I can go alone?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. He looked at me then. His eyes were cold. "Why would you want to go alone? People will talk. A married woman walking around alone at a fair." He didn't forbid me, not with direct words, but his meaning was clear. I stayed home. I watched the sunset from my window. I could hear the faint sound of music from the fair. It felt like another wall built. Around me, his control is quiet, but it's always there. He checks the bank account. He asks what I bought. "Did you really need that, Emily?" he might say about a new book or a small plant for the garden. I feel like a child, always asking for permission, always afraid of doing something wrong. The house is his house. The money is his money. My life feels like it is his life, not mine. There are days I just want to disappear, to pack a small bag and walk away, never look back. But then I think of the practical things. Where would I sleep? What would I eat? I have no skills for a job. I haven't worked in 10 years. The world outside feels big and scary. David's world, our house, is small and known. Even if it's unhappy, it's familiar. That familiarity is a strange kind of comfort, a dangerous comfort. It keeps me trapped. I feel so alone. This is the thought that repeats in my head, day after day. Even when David is in the same room, I am alone. He is a stranger to me now, and I am a stranger to him. Two people living under the same roof, sharing a bed, but not sharing a life, not sharing a heart. It's a lonely way to live. Sometimes I look in the mirror. I see a woman with sad eyes. There are lines on her face that weren't there before. Lines of worry, lines of unhappiness. Who is this woman? Is this me, Emily, the girl who dreamed of a happy future? She is lost, hidden deep inside. I want to find her again, but I don't know how. The thought, I can't escape him, is always there, whispering, holding me back. He doesn't hit me, not with his hands, but his words can be sharp. His indifference hurts like a knife. One evening, I tried again. I had made a special dinner. I lit candles. I wanted to talk, really talk. David, I said, my voice trembling a little. Are you happy? Are we happy? He looked at me. His eyes were cold. What kind of silly question is that, Emily? He said. We have a good life, a nice house. What more do you want? He didn't understand. Or he didn't want to understand. I want connection, I whispered. I want love. He sighed, a long, annoyed sigh. You read too many romantic books, Emily. This is real life. Real life isn't a fairy tale. He stood up and turned on the television. The conversation was over. My small hope died again. That night, I lay in bed next to him. He was sleeping, breathing evenly. I was wide awake. The tears streamed down my face. Silently, I felt so broken, so utterly alone. Is this my life forever? This coldness, this emptiness? The thought was unbearable. The days pass, each one similar to the last. The silence, the loneliness, the feeling of being trapped. It is a heavy weight. I carry it with me everywhere. But recently, something small happened. Sarah, my friend, gave me a gift. It was a small notebook and a pen. Write it down, Emily, she said. Write down your feelings, your thoughts, your dreams, even your fears. It helps. At first, I was scared. What if David found it? What if he read my secret thoughts? I hid the notebook under my mattress. Every night, when he was asleep, I would take it out. I would write. Just a few words at first. I feel sad today. I miss laughing. I wish things were different. Slowly, I started writing more. I wrote about my dreams when I was young. I wrote about the day I met David. I wrote about the good memories, the few I had. And I wrote about the bad ones, the lonely nights, the sharp words, the anniversaries he forgot. The notebook became my most precious thing, my secret friend. I wrote about Sarah, her kindness. I wrote about the books I read, the women who inspired me. I even started to write small poems about the rain, about the single flower growing through a crack in the pavement. Things I noticed, things that still held a tiny bit of beauty. Writing it down did help. It was like talking to a friend who understood everything. A friend who never judged me. The words on the page made my feelings real. They were not just in my head anymore. They were there in black and white. I started to see a pattern. I saw how I had become smaller, quieter. I saw how I had let David's moods control my happiness. I saw how fear had become my constant companion. Reading my own words, I felt a new feeling. Not just sadness, but a little bit of anger. Anger at David for not seeing me, but also anger at myself for letting this happen for so long, for not fighting for myself. This anger, it was a strange feeling. It wasn't loud. It was a quiet fire, a small warmth inside me. It didn't make the fear go away, but it made me feel a little stronger. Writing made me look at myself differently. I was not just David's wife. I was not just a sad, lonely woman. I was Emily. I had thoughts. I had feelings. I had a secret world inside me. A world David couldn't touch. A world he didn't even know existed. This realization was like finding a hidden key. I didn't know what door it opened yet. But holding, it made me feel a little less powerless. The anger I felt, the quiet fire, it didn't make me want to shout at David. It made me want to save myself. It made me want to find a way to be free, not just from him, but free from the fear that had ruled my life for so long. I still don't know how to escape. The chains are still there. The financial dependence, the fear of the unknown. David is still David. He hasn't changed. Our house is still cold. But something inside me is changing. Slowly, very slowly. The idea of learning a skill, finding a job, it's still just an idea. A tiny seed. I look online sometimes. When David is not home, I search for free courses, for work-from-home ideas. My heart beats fast when I do it, partly from fear of being caught, partly from a new kind of excitement. It feels like a rebellion, a very quiet, secret rebellion. I am still trapped. That is the truth. My marriage is still loveless. David is still distant. The house is still cold. And the words, "I can't escape him," are still a powerful force. They try to pull me back into hopelessness. But now, there is another voice too. A very small voice. A tiny whisper. It says, maybe. Maybe one day. Maybe you can. It's the voice from my notebook. It's the voice of the Emily I want to be. The whisper of maybe is growing. It's getting a little louder each day. It fights against the fear. Sometimes it wins. Sometimes the fear wins. It's a constant battle inside me. I don't know what my future holds. Maybe I will always be here. Maybe this is my life. It's a hard thought, but I am trying to find small moments of peace. In my books, in my secret notebook, in Sarah's friendship. These are my lifelines, small things, but they are mine. Tomorrow might be just like today. Another quiet, lonely day. Living a lie is exhausting. Pretending to be okay when you are breaking inside is the hardest work. I am tired of pretending. Maybe, just maybe, one day I will be brave enough to stop pretending. Brave enough to choose myself. Even if it means facing the big, scary world alone. The thought is terrifying. But sometimes, the thought of staying here, like this, forever, is even more terrifying. So, if you are listening, and your heart is heavy, if you feel invisible, if you feel trapped by a mistake or by fear, please listen to that tiny voice inside you. The one that says, maybe. That voice is your hope. Hold on to it. Feed it. Let it grow. Even in the darkest room, a tiny candle can show you the way. You are not as alone as you feel. There are others who understand. You have strength inside. You. Look for it. Find it. And one day, maybe, you will find your path to a different future. Keep believing in that maybe. Keep going. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be happy. You can do this too.